G'day folks. Well, I'm back from the dyno. Still in one piece, which is nice. She went well. She really went well. I haven't got it fully sorted out just at the minute. I had time constraints on the day I took it down. And I just ran out of time. I didn't have enough time to pull the carb off it and put some more jets in it. We ran a little bit lean up top, but I've got some brilliant data though, guys, that I've picked up. So I'm armed with a lot more knowledge. I've sorted out a lot of things that I've done. Well, things that I did to the car, I've got to test. For example, that vacuum pan, it hardly leaked, considering how bad the rear main sill is. It wasn't terrible, but I've reduced it. I'm guessing easy half with that vacuum pan. It's always used to push the dipstick up just a whisker, and occasionally had a little bit of oil spit out of it. There was none of that. The amount of oil that came out under the rear main was very minimal. So very happy. Works a treat. Very, very happy with that outcome. So that's a win there in my book. The next little test was, guys, well, first I'll give a shout out to the two dyno, or the two fellas that run the workshop down there where I took the car. They're only in their mid-30s, and they're really, really genuine fellas. They welcomed me, they were patient with me, and didn't hassle me, didn't sort of tell me what to do. They even let me pilot the car on the dyno. How cool's that? So I've got huge respect for those guys down there, and I'll be back again. I'm actually taking the car again, guys, in 2, maybe 3 weeks' time. I've got to do a little bit of paid work, and then once I get a spare day up my sleeve very soon, I want to finish it off and be done and dusted with it. It's just fantastic. She laid down 427. The timing, was it 885 Newton meters? She was running a little bit lean up top though, about 5,000 onwards. I was targeting the air fuel ratio on Lambda. I was trying to go for around 0.77, 0.78, and over 5,000, up to about 5,000, it was 0.8, but then over, it started to lean right out. I'll put a short video up after I upload this video. It only runs for 10 seconds, I think, or 15 seconds. But it just gets, you'll hear it, you'll just see it up top, it just shimmies a little bit. I've done some other pulls with it, and I had the deck cans on. Oh my God, those deck cans are awesome, guys. I've tested those. We didn't experience any knock, even though we were in that lean condition. But on the day, it was only low boost, 7 pound, and the timing was very conservative when I first put it on the dyno on 20 degrees. It actually only made around 340 at the wheels, and that 427 is only 2 degrees more, 22 degrees. So there's a bit more potential in it, guys. So the jury is still out on the horsepower until on the second time when I go back, and I'll address the carb as best as I can while I've got it in here. George is actually he's done a bit of math on it. So we're going to work out the size of the jets. So we get very close, and if I've got to change jets again down there, well, I'll be well armed and more organised. But time just ran away down there, and I had so much fun. It was just fantastic. It's a great feeling sitting in the car on the dyno and putting the power into it. I really enjoyed it, and it gave me time to look at my gauges, and and it was in a safe environment. It's just fantastic. To start with, guys, when I got there, I was really keen to work out or find out the temperature between the cylinders, because the carb hat is really untested. It was in untested water. You know the trouble I had before with that other carb, number 4 cylinder. We did that piston. I've pushed gaskets out through that one. It's been terrible. So I really wanted to find out under a controlled load how all the banks, all the cylinders were faring up as temperature-wise. Gives you a good indication. Callum, he sort of, as I was loading it up through the different stages on different pools and that, he was doing the recordings of them, and we only had a 50-degree, on average, difference from front to rear, but each side was very similar. So that rules out any abnormal spikes in temperature or problems that we experienced before with that other carb hat. This one has fixed those problems. It's incredible. I'm so thrilled. And Simon, you've excelled yourself, mate, on this one with your design and the science behind it. It absolutely works, and I'm just so happy. It's bloody awesome, and it looks incredible too. So, absolute win with that carb hat. Hats off to you. Oh, that's a corny joke. Anyway, once we got that established, we started to sort of, to up the ramping of the on the dyno, and look, we worked out that we found out that it was running a tiny little bit lean on the primaries. We did a sort of a pull, I think it was up to about 80 kilometres, and I sort of buried the foot till I can just feel the secondaries, and then we sort of loaded it up to that. I think I built 4 or 5 pounds of boost up, and it was up to about 0.80, which is not dangerous lean, but it'd be nice if it was a little bit richer. Like I said, if we could target around sort of, well, they say 0.71 is rich for E85, and then lean, I think, is 0.86. And we experienced that 0.86 on my ratio gauge, up around 5.4 it was. So we've got to address that with the correct jetting size so we can get our target air-fuel ratio. But I never experienced any knock, which was really nice, because those deck cans, guys, they're an absolute bloody good thing. They really are. Like I couldn't detect any. The only thing when I was using them, I had to push the muffs into my head, because the car's fairly noisy, to try and isolate the sound, and I couldn't pick anything up. But like I said, you'll see it in that video. I think it was on, I'm not sure if that was 22 degrees, that one, but it just shimmied a little bit, the engine. You can see it was just running out of fuel, and I pulled out of it, But oh no, it was awesome. I'm really happy with the results and so far. So like I said, next time we take it down soon, I can get onto it and get a good solid number. And I feel, guys, that it's gonna really want 20. Well, I'm guessing it's going to be up around 25 or 26 degrees, because it's incredible fuel, this E85. I follow on Facebook, guys. It's a page. It's a great page. It's an American site. It's called Blow-Through Mob. It's all about blow-through carbs, turbo blow-through carbs, and the guys that are running E85, you hear them, often they're on 11, 12 to 1 compression, running reasonable boost. I mean, they're up around 20, 25 pounds of boost. A lot of them have got run some intercoolers. A lot of them don't, though. And it's amazing that the fuel, like E85, how tolerant it is for knock, and it's just so cooling too. I had no heating issues whatsoever on that day. I mean, I could have done, I think at times there we left the fan off. It was just, there was no need for it. It just keeps so cool. It's incredible. It really is. It's an amazing fuel. Geez, I'm so glad I swapped over, because I reckon if I'd have been on 98, I would have struck a bit of trouble down there. It just creeps up on you so quick if you don't have a good safe margin, and next thing you know, you either push a gasket or you just don't get a second chance. But on low boost with this sort of setting, it just gives me a little cushion, and it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. So yes, that's where it stands at the minute, guys. It's pretty awesome, and I'm happy the way it is now. I think I'll get close in the high 400s. That's my sort of tip now on the power level. Remember, on 20 degrees, I think it was 340 when I first sort of started doing some ramp pulls. Added 2 degrees and it went straight to 427. And then it started to really lean out. It didn't like that because obviously you're burning the fuel up more efficiently. But yeah, a good learning curve, and now I can go down next time more armed with knowledge, and I'm a bit more familiar with the dyno since I'm piloting the car. That's incredible. And that'll be fantastic. Look what Yellow Terra sent. They sent me a banner. How cool's that? I hung it up there and I thought, why not? They're a fantastic crowd, that guys. If any of you guys haven't heard of them, Google them. They make awesome cylinder heads, because I've got a set of their Yellow Terra -3s, high port, early Holden V8 style heads on them. They're awesome little set of heads. And they supply heads for lots of different makes and models, and they do superchargers as well. So check them out. They're a really good Australian-made product, and you know what it's like. There's nothing like supporting homegrown or home-made stuff. There's nothing worse than buying Chinese or stuff that's just not, the quality's not there. Well, Yellow Terra are every bit of they're up there with the best of them, They're fair dinkum. They're good stuff. There's no doubt about it. All right, guys. Well, I've got to pull the carb off, so that's the next little thing. I want to do an oil change on this too. I haven't done one yet, but I'll do the carb, and we'll have a little talk about that. George has got some other little tricks up his sleeve he wants me to do to the carb, so I'll include that in the video in the coming days. And I've got a few other things I want to talk about too, about what I've done to it too, because it just brought it to my attention when I had it on the dyno as well. So I took a lot away from that day, and it was really, really well worth the effort. So you just can't tune, I'm finding out now, you just can't tune a car. You can rough it in, but you can't fine tune it on the dyno. There's just no doubt about it. I couldn't have done the cylinder checks with the heat gun. There's just no way. So that allowed me to do it, and it's awesome, because you can just set the ramping or get it to sort of pull up at lower speeds and sort of hold the motor at a lower rev with a bit of fair load on it. And you sort of can't really do that on the street successfully anyway. All right, guys, that's enough of my babbling. I'll pop one up soon, and I hope you enjoy that little short clip of the little dyno pull I've got. I'm sorry, guys, I never did any more because I was so focused on the whole sort of the 2.5 hours. The time just ran away. Next time, I'll be a bit more organised. I want to show you at least inside and on the gauges and what's going on, and get an idea there. All right, folks, I'll put one up soon. Catch you later.